This is Short Hammer. It is the 26th of July, 2020, and this is Trading Zones. If we look at where we are currently, last week was insane, and we have a lot more on the horizon. So volatility should be on the rise. We should be seeing definitely some nice size moves because there's just so much information that's coming out. So if we look at the MES, we started the week roughly in this area and took off to the upside, and now we're back there. So it's almost as if we started the week where we began. So if you were wondering, how to play this, like how would you play this? For me, just watch your levels. And if we go back over 32.21, I will be looking to get long off of this area and up. If we go back to the 32.21, we fall reject, then I'll be short and fading this down. The levels to the downside that we have are 31.80, 31.56, 31.18. Let me give you the next level. And below that, 30.64. To the upside, 32.21 is our most immediate line or supply demand line, I say. And above that, we have 32.59, 32.86, 33.29, and 33.56. We'll see how this plays. But for me, if we get back over 32.21, I will be looking on the intraday how to get long off of that area and try to ride this back to the upside. And when I say ride this back, I'll take my scalps 3 points, 5 points, 10 points as this thing goes and chops around a bit. But once it breaks, I'll try to ride a few on the way up. But I definitely love to take scalp plays off of strong levels that I know of either supply or demand. So you see this, let's see. Okay. So looking at our week, and we're back right there. So I'm not a huge fan of the Russell. I know some people love trading it, but it's just not my favorite thing. So looking at this, to the downside, we have 14.53. To me, I'm not trading the Russell right now. And some people are in, they love it. I don't. I like tickers. I trade the ones that move line to line. And if I can't get a line to line move, then to me, I'm not interested. The only way I take that is if there's a pivot setup. So me looking at the Russell here, to the downside we have 14.53, and below that 14.16. To the upside 15.16. Then what looks like 15.60. I'm not taking a trade on this. For those that do, I wish you well. I'm just not taking a trade on this. I don't like the setup here. Until we break one of the lines, then I have a basis of reference to either be long or be short. But this middle area, I will not be playing that. Amazon. Now, if we look at these insane moves from Amazon, look at this rocket. And earnings is the 30th, so that's this upcoming week. So this is a really, really interesting. I would say avoid Amazon till post earnings, see where it lands, then play it off that. If Amazon misses earnings, then you can fade it. If Amazon beats earnings, you can get long, and you just have to be careful because what you want to see is wait for the reaction to earnings and wait for it to get to a level. For example, if Amazon has earnings and they beat and they bounce $200, then you want to see at each one of these levels, there's 31.93, 32.68, 33.44, who's in control. If the buyers are still in control and squeezing this to the upside, then once you cross that line and hold, then I would be long with a break below that line as my stop. So we'll see how this shakes. We could also sell and bounce. So I'll be watching these levels To the downside, 29.50, 28.87, 27.81, 2600. To the upside, 30.20, 30.68, 31.93, 32.68, and 33.44. That's what I'm watching on Amazon. When we break above one of those lines and holds, I'm long. When we break below one of those lines and we continue to sell, like bearish candlestick formations, I'm short. Taking a peek at Netflix here. And so earnings, selling. So based on where we are above the 475. If we go back below that, I may be looking to get short to seeing if we can sell down to the 457 on Netflix. So what I'll be looking for is failure of 475 and bearish candlestick formations down into the 457s or this area here, this zone 447 to 440. If the buyers step in and reverse this and we get above 490s and we hold, excuse me, then we're looking at the 504 area, 507, 529, 535, 542. Netflix definitely moves, so we'll see where it is this upcoming week and how it's moving. But those are levels that I'm watching on Netflix. NVDA. So we are above this 40102, which in all these lines that are not blue or the pinkish, so all these brown colored lines, these are temporary lines. So, and temporary just means that an area is important, but we don't know if it's long-term important or short-term important because we're reaching new levels. And when you reach new levels, sometimes you hold and you get some sort of technical setup there, and sometimes you just sell. So we'll see how this goes, but definitely watching these levels. So where we are to the downside, watch 401, 382, 372, and 363. To the upside, watch 410, 419, and 426. 431 is possible, but doubtful. But that's what we're watching for on Netflix. Oh, pardon me, NVIDIA. Why did I say Netflix? Let's watch for on NVIDIA. Pardon me, this is NVIDIA. So we'll watch these levels on NVIDIA. We'll see what we get here. And we have earnings is the 6th of August. So you do have a little bit of time, not a bunch of time. So they gave you this was your pre. There actually may be another run in here prior to earnings. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on NVIDIA. But, Intel just took a hit, and we have to see if I'm going to dig into the Intel earnings because I want to see why they missed. And so it's just to be able to see. So my next video, I may have a perspective on that because I do want to dig into why Intel missed. But these are levels that we're watching on NVIDIA. So if you're watching the 401 to the downside immediately and the 410 to the upside, a break above or below, look for bearish candlestick formations if it's below the 401 and look for momentum down to the 382. If we're above the 410s, look for bullish candlestick formations and momentum into the 419s. Taking a peek at Facebook with earnings coming up on the 29th. This is going to be interesting. So we bounced off the 228.47. We'll see if we can reverse the 200. That this sold prior to earnings. We'll see if this recovers. This is actually going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching Facebook. This is interesting because this thing may bounce and go the other way headed into earnings. So I will be watching if we can regain the 236, then 238, then 240s. As you can see, I didn't even draw lines for these upper levels here, but me personally, I'll be watching the 246-ish area and the 250 area. Look at that top. See if it retests that. But rejection. It's beautiful. I would be careful on Facebook. If you're playing that, just be careful because headed into earnings, you never know what could happen. If you remember, not too long ago, they had earnings where they beat massively, but then Zuckerberg hopped on and made a few comments that made the stock tank. So even if they beat on numbers, the guidance is what's going to be important. So we have to hear what they say and what they say about their ZM challenger as far as hosting meetings. I have no idea how that product is performing, but that will be interesting also for this earnings to see if they've gained any traction in that sector. Looking at Apple. Now, this temp line's been there for quite some time. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. And so we tested again and rejected the 397s. Went through the 378s, down to the 368s, almost the 354s. This is pre-market, and we haven't even had earnings yet, so we're definitely going to have some more movement. But this dip might be a buying opportunity. We have to see. I know this one was for sure. That was a buying opportunity. But we'll see if we can hold the 368s and get bullish candlestick formations and squeeze into the 378s, maybe even the 397s. If we don't, if we sell, we'll keep an eye on the 345s and 328s. But Apple will be interesting. We'll have to see how they've managed to maneuver this COVID-19 situation, if they've found a way to remain profitable, even if they deal with deal with that issue. Microsoft, very similar chart to Apple. So we're right below the 202s. If we regain the 202s, look for bullish candlestick formations and give us a run into the 208s, 213s, and 215s. If we can't get back over this and we begin to sell, watch the 195s, 191s, and 187s. CI has been interesting. They have earnings coming up. We'll see what they do. But based on where we are, watch for a break of 181 and then a test of 190, 202, and 206. And if we stay below and sell, we can offer stay in the gun. There we go. 20. Hold on a second, not 20, 180. So if we sell, we look at 181, and if that holds up as a supply area based on where we are, you guys gotta pardon me. Sometimes I have movies going in the background while I'm doing these videos, so it's whether it's the kids or the movies or something else going on in the background. Usually I'm multitasking. So off the 181s, we watch 173s, 163s, and 157s. I would be careful of being in CI headed into earnings, but post earnings, whichever direction that it's going, usually this is a momentum ticker as far as that it will move in a specific direction consistently once it begins to go. So we shall see how this shakes. But please put CI on your watch list because post earnings it should have a nice move. Dollar Tree, nice rejection here. We had to see if the 94.67s hold up. If they do, we're going to go right back to 97.73. If they do not, if we fail here, here's a clear drop to 91.47, then 89.42. Maybe it would retest this buy zone. If we go to the upside of break at 97.73 and hold, what gives us a squeeze into the 101.95. Then next up, the 106.39. That's on DLTR. Check out Goldman Sachs. Right back inside of our channel. Beautiful. So looking at GS, to the downside, watch 197.10 and 189. And if it does that, I'll look for it to buy back up, just depending. To the upside, we have 207, then 214. We have to see how this shakes. They already a while ago had earnings, so we'll see what the overall corporate reaction is. Look at this. Huh, that's interesting, but to be expected. So we'll see if we get any reversals. If we continue to sell into the 197s, we'll see if we get a reversal there or some type of a bounce to be able to take it back in the next direction. And if we continue to sell below that, then I'll be fading it down into the 189s. If we pop instead, as I mentioned earlier, I would be looking for a buy about this 207, 208 area. Excuse me. And then a run into 214. The peak at SPY, and it's sitting on the line at 320. So we'll see if SPY buys back up and we get a run to 328. If it sells below here, we'll be watching 315, 307, and 302. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to click the like button. And if you'd like to receive more content like this, not just from me, but from Elisa as she shows you how she utilizes her Power of Pivots script, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Power of Pivots. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you have a great week of trading. Talk soon.